Hi all, I'd like to do a change from the usual Blitz videos. Let's have a look at the Rising Stars vs Experience tournament, which was recently held. This was on the 24th of August 2009. Peter Svidler 2739 versus the current US champion Nakamura. So e4 by Peter Svidler. Nakamura played the solid Conrad Khan. But after e5, the game got very interesting very quickly. Bishop f5, knight d2. Now this is a seemingly, boring move. What does it do, knight d2? Well, actually, the bishop's coming out with pawn chain here, and white wants to clamp down on black playing c5. So it's actually quite clever, in a way. After e6, immediately knight b3. So white seems to have a solid position, and accepting black has a kind of French defence with the bishop outside the pawn chain, but he's maintaining strong control on these two squares. After knight d7, knight f3, not wanting at the moment to trade light squared bishops. h6, now bishop e2, so definitely declaring the intention to leave this bishop on the board, not to swap it with the black bishop on f5. Knight e7, and now Peter just castled, so he's kind of provoking black into an aggressive action, namely g5. He's kind of confident, I suppose, that he's got control of these two squares, and he's reinforcing now control of c5 with his next manoeuvre, which is knight e1. So the knight's simply going to go to d3. So it's very solid positional chess, really aimed at these two squares all the time. c5, and now he takes on c5. Doesn't mind losing his pawn chain, so takes back, knight c6, and now finally he does play bishop d3. Because he really wants to reroute this knight with tempo, so it can come to d3, that would be a strong square. Not only eyeing c5 but also e5. Black took on c5. Now white took on f5, damaging black's pawn structure a little bit. Now to get in knight d3 with tempo on the bishop. Bishop moves back. And now a very interesting move, accepting double pawns. Quite a dynamic move by Peter Svidler. He plays bishop e3. So Nakamura avoided bishop e3, didn't want pressure on the f-file, and these two pawns exposed. White would also have unpleasant, perhaps, possibilities of queen h5. So Nakamura played d4, so bishop d2, queen e7, now a4. So white is gaining space on the queen side, having this nice central knight to support things like b4 later. So a6, b4, knight d8, now queen f3. The pieces are all kind of nice, there's no bad piece in the white position. So the queen's eyeing f5, disrupting if black wanted to play knight e6, there's queen takes f5. So black played g4, and after queen f4, rook c8. It's a perfectly, pleasant position for white. And look at these pawns, they're really, there's no way they're going to open up lines to the white king. So has the experienced team, which Peter Svidler, he's on, he's beating off his younger opponents who made some, in a way, rash pawn moves on the king side here. But Nakamura, generally knows a lot what he's doing, because he is 27-10. Svidler is like 2739, so these are pretty heavyweight players in their own right. So f3, trying to just expose this f-file even more. g3, trying to keep it closed, but look at the wretched pawns now. Hopefully, Nakamura might have been hoping for some dynamic counterplay. So he plays rook g6, but after e6, white is rudely interrupting any possibilities of knight e6 without that knight being able to be challenged with a frontal attack. So by giving up that pawn, there's another important point though. This queen b8 check is unpleasant now, because it's actually winning the exchange because of knight e5 coming up. Pardon me, knight e5, forking queen and rook. So have things gone quite badly wrong for black already? Queen c7. So white is clearly the exchange up, although the black pawn structure has been repaired. Pawn pawn situation, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, but white is the exchange up. And here Svidler kind of uses a very strong technique to basically clinch the game. So bishop b6 doesn't mind the rook invasion because his rooks are now kind of active. Black is getting a bit tied down. Bishop takes b4. Now bishop d4. So tactically, this bishop's a vulnerability. So bishop c5, trying to exchange off that bishop. Rook d3, a nasty pin. Bishop evacuates. Now g4. So these pawns are becoming fixed. And I'm running through this game quite quickly. I'm just trying to get the commentary in within 11 minutes. It's a bit of a brief outline, really. But white's the exchange up, and now this d pawn is very dangerous. So black actually had to do something about the bishop and rook, because rook takes a5 is threatened, so he had to exchange off rooks, leaving white a much clearer exchange up. A bit of a cruel game, really. And now just this move cutting off the black king, so white will be winning with this pawn eventually, after maybe taking on b6 first. So say bishop c5, rook e4, then f6 is going to be dangerous. So if black has to play bishop e7, then king takes b6, and it's all going to be over. The king might just come over to help, maybe to g6 even if needed, to help f6, and that'll be winning the game. So that was a fascinating encounter. So Svidler just playing a very calm positional game, not minding black lashing out on the king side, and just taking control of the centre. Really nice knight on d3, supporting queenside advances, and then this play on the king side, kind of elegant, just winning the exchange here tactically. So black was really in trouble with his king in the centre. It was exposed. If queen takes e6 here, that's probably very dangerous for a different reason. Maybe just queen f4, or threatening rook e1, or maybe something else. I don't really want to use Ripper to have a look at this. If there's a killing move, please leave it in the comments after queen e6. I think maybe just white plays a simple move, queen f4, but I might be wrong. So after this winning of the exchange, it was all a bit downhill for black. He got a little bit of counterplay, but it was used by Svidler to try and get some pieces off. Awkward moments here with this passed d pawn, basically forcing soon after this check. Well, this rook's dual purpose now on a5 and threatening rook h7 and other nasties. So these rooks came off, and then it was a clear exchange up. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.